Hello, BookTube. As you can see, I'm by myself. Let's not have any whining about that. David is busy. He is outside on a ladder buffeting the wainscoting. So there's a reason why I'm here by myself. We went out today at a leisurely morning here at Hyde Cottage, and then we went out to thrift shops, 2 thrift shops and some big box stores that I just love. I guess they're so incredible, and I don't ever get to them without a car. And this sometimes happens at the thrift shops. David just had bad hunting. That's all. He got 2 novels, mainly because they were bespoke by me or other people. He got John Grisham's The Firm and Vikram Chandra's Sacred Games. The legal thriller that launched John Grisham's career, and the gigantic doorstop thing that is just so good. And that's it. And since there's fiction, his heart wasn't in it, and that's just the way it goes. The thrift stores that we went to were called Savers. One had a large book section, the other had an absolutely enormous book section, pretty much a bookstore on its own. And the thing about Savers and the Goodwill and other charity shops like that is that I don't think David would disagree. They work against you the more specialized your reading is, and they work in your favor the more broad-based your reading is. So the chance that we're going to walk into a place like that and find a whole bunch of books that David wants they're slim anyway, and today they went against him. So he thought it would be kind of dumb to swap back and forth with books when he got only 2, because I got a gigantic pile of books. And I want to show them to you. We'll start with the mass market paperbacks. The first one being a BookTube suggestion. I think I have a couple of those. I was watching Paul's channel, Geeks Love Dogs, and he did a tag recently about whole bunch of bookish questions, and one of those questions was, what's a book that you can't let go of, even though it doesn't really do anything for you? It doesn't do enough for you. You keep going back to it for reasons that you don't understand. And he mentioned Neuromancer by William Gibson. I realized as soon as he said it that I didn't have a copy, and also that it's been a long time since I read it. Now, I didn't have an ambiguous reaction to this book at all. I loved it. When I read it when it first came out, in the 80s, 1981. God, I ought to know the publication date for Neuromancer. 1984. I read it when it came out, and I was really impressed by it. I think most of the critical world was. And my number one thought was, God help us if this turns out to be the future. And of course, it did. So most of it did. There's no genetically engineered whales, but still, it's been a long time. That's a long time. So good to read it again. And then the other mass market, before we get to my theme, is this. I bought it with trepidation. It was cheap. It's a mass market paperback of Tom Wicker's gigantic American Civil War novel, Unto This Hour, which I and a whole bunch of other critics compared to William Safire's book Freedom. In both cases, you have these crusty old journalists turning to their passion project. In both cases, the American Civil War, and actually, he's plenty crusty, so we can include Gore Vidal in that. And they aren't usually consistently good. And again, I have not read this. When did this? I read this. Look at that beautiful end paper artwork. You don't get that anymore. I read this when it came out in mass market paperback. So when would that have been? 1985, so right around the same time as Neuromancer. And I remember that it had bits and pieces that are good. Of course, a journalist is going to do dialogue well, and that happens here, and it happens in Freedom by William Safire. And Gore Vidal, of course, is going to do history well, and that it happens in his Lincoln book. But I'm going to give this another try. Mass market paperback, it's big, so the covers will probably gradually pop off the text block, but I don't plan on loving it enough to keep it. So and then all the other mass market paperbacks that I got, I do plan on loving enough to keep because they are all Regency romances, which is awesome, whether you think that or not. I found Ellen Fitzgerald, The Dangerous Dr. Langhorne. Look at that. See, they all have original artwork. These older Signet Regency romances have original artwork on the cover instead of the photo realistic stuff that you get now on romance covers. Here is Diana Campbell, The Reluctant Cyprian, Those of you who are up on your Regency era slang will know what a Cyprian was. Then we have, let's see, Margaret Somerville. In somewhere here in a box, probably, I have a ton of Margaret Somerville. But when I saw these, I have a lot of Signet Regency romances, and I don't have a mental inventory of which ones I have and don't have. So when I saw these, I grabbed them all, because I might duplicate 3, but I'll have 5 that I didn't have. This is Highland Lady. And there they are canoodling up on a hill, and in the background is a Scottish castle. And as far as I know, there are 2 people. Of course, the artist here, these people were doing original artwork, and they would have models in the studio to help them, maybe, or maybe not. But all the architectural stuff, they were going off books of reference. The artist was. And I think there are 2 people watching this channel who will be able to recognize that the reference that the artist used for that pile. Okay, this next one is not a Signet Regency romance. I also have some Zebra Regency romances, and this is by Victoria Hinshaw. Don't know that I know this author. This is Miss Milford's Mistake. Generally speaking, alliteration is Miss Milford's Mistake, so you probably want to steer clear of it. Then we have Patricia Rice. This is Mad Maria's Daughter. Where the cover is actually, it's very rare in these old Signet Regency romances that the cover will tell a story. This one is telling a story, right? Because you can tell right away that this lady's coach, with her driver, has been waylaid by an armed robber. So even without reading the back of the book, you know what the plot is and how it's going to come out. But I love them anyway. Then Charlotte Louise Dolan, 3 Lords for Lady Anne. I'm pretty sure I have this. But I couldn't be 100% sure with any of these, so I grabbed them. I feel certain that Sarah would have done the same. Oh my God. The romance section in the second thrift store that we went to, Sarah, reading category romance, would have gone nuts. Just nuts. She would have overspent her book budget. Then we have Barbara Allister. This is The Impulsive Governess. There she is laying out the china on their picnic with the children romping by the water right near Loch Ness. Then we have Charlotte Louise Dolan again. This is The Unofficial Suitor. Pretty sure I don't have this. I think I would remember that cover. That's what I mean. These old Signet Regencies are so classy. They're just so wonderful to read, and they fix you. Well, I shouldn't say you. They fix me. If I've had a bad run of books or I need a complete change of pace, nowadays I go to murder mysteries. And in the past, over the decades, I have usually gone to murder mysteries, but these work as well. So. Then we have Miranda Cameron. This is The Meddlesome Heiress. You see what I mean? You got the actors, the models, and then you've got the background. You've always got the background to pay attention to. We have Ellen Fitzgerald. I have a lot of hers, but I'm pretty sure I don't have this one. This is Julia's Portion. And it doesn't look much like I expected, and the title is not the same as the type of gimmicky title that these things usually have. So I'm pretty sure I don't have this one. Just a few more. I grabbed all of them that I saw. I didn't get any other romance novels. I just got these. Then another Signet Regency. This is Dorothy Mack, An Unconventional Courtship. Look at those sideburns, huh? I tell you. And also, we can't help but notice a preponderance of gingers among the women. A great number of our women have had red hair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's incredible. I didn't notice that until I was holding these up. Almost all of these women are redheaded. Let's see what the last one. The last one is The Dissolute Duke by Miranda Cameron, and sure enough, you're not going to be able to make that out, but her hair is russet red. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. That had to be a fad of some kind or other. So there you go. I got a stack of Regency romances. And then we can move on to the other books. No hardcovers, just paperbacks. I got a paperback of this. This is Paul Reed's. Paul Reed finished up William Manchester's books, his multi-volume Life of Winston Churchill, and this is terrific. I was looking for a blurb of mine, and I didn't see. It's not on the book, I don't think. There's a Christian Science Monitor blurb on this thing, but I don't think I reviewed this for the Monitor. I think I reviewed it for the National in Abu Dhabi. But I'm not 100% sure of that, so I will have to look around online and see, or get David to do it. He knows better than I do what's out there. But it's a great big fat thing and a really good book on Churchill leading his country during World War II. I mean, it's got all the rest of it too, but it's really good for that. So, this led to a brief correspondence with Paul Reed, which was a lot of fun. He's a really good guy. Then David spotted this and wanted to know if I had it. I honestly didn't remember, and I haven't gone to check. This would be in the little book room. This is the Mammoth book. We've gone over these before in the past. There used to be a series of paperback anthology volumes called the Mammoth Book of whatever, and there were hundreds of them, at least 200. And one of my favorite ones is the Mammoth Book of Jack the Ripper. And here, this is in absolutely perfect condition. If I do have a copy of this, it's not in perfect condition. So I'm glad that he shoved that under my nose, because that was a good precautionary buy. Then we have William Brinkley. I saw this just sitting on the shelf at this. These savers were pretty much what you'd expect. The book selection was pretty much what you'd expect. If you hunted around, you would find gems. I think I found a lot, but it's mostly, 80% of it is badly water warped or dirty or ripped or stained attic clear out copies of books that were popular 10 years ago. So I looked around for stuff that wasn't that, for stuff that was unconventional, and I found this. This is his book, The Last Ship, about a full-scale nuclear war that devastates the whole world except for one, at first, we think, except for one ship and her crew out in the ocean. So they know that the world has ended and they don't know what to do. This was actually adapted for a TV series. They made some fundamental changes, but the book is terrific. Again, I wrote about this. At some point, I will have to ask David where it is. I think I wrote a Steve Reads entry about this book years ago when I was still doing... I am doing Steve Reads again on Substack. And a number of you have done me the honor of subscribing. That is such a thrill. I'm so honored by that. But years and years and years and years before that, I did Steve Reads on, I think, Blogspot or Blogger or something like that. And I know that I wrote about this book. I'll just have to see if David can find it, because the internet never forgets. Then I found this. I'm pretty sure that I have given up my copy of this. I was overjoyed to find it. This is by Bruce Fogel, and it is The Dog's Mind. And it is one of the very rare books on dogs that is good. That is really good. I don't know. I haven't checked the little book room to see where any of these doubles are, so I don't really know. But it was worth it. For whatever this was, like $4, it was worth it. And then this big thing, good Lord. This was a find. Is this Barry Moser? Joan Waltemeyer does the illustrations. The author is Lawrence Killam, and this is The American Crow and the Common Raven. There's no photographs in here. Instead, it's these black and white engravings. Oh, what's this? What's that? Someone taped this to a piece of paper. A baby crow is called a simp and doesn't seem to mind. Simps stay with their parents a couple of years and help feed the next batch of simps. Okay, all right. I like the person who last owned this book. But let me get you a picture of what the art looks like. There's crows and an otter. I have read this book, but it's been a long time, and I've never thought I would own it. Fantastic to just find it. Could be the find of the day. Then I found battered Princeton University Press trade paperback of a book that I want. This will be what Jason Harrigan used to refer to as a reading copy. I have the hardcover of this. I'm looking at my brand new biography wall. Oh my God. I'll take pictures and post them on Instagram. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Those of you who may have looked at David's channel and seen how beautiful his snug little hobbit hole library apartment is, and maybe wondered, does he hire out? Can he duplicate that kind of experience in someone else, especially a ramshackle place that looks horrible? Yeah, he can. Give him enough time, pour enough wine down his gun, he can do it. I have now a second copy of this, and really my first reaction when I saw it in this Savers with screaming children and men in sweatpants and piles and piles and piles of Dayglow clothing, I thought, I've got to rescue you. No one is going to see you and want you but me. It's this. It's John Tooke's book, Dante. in a trade paperback, which is don't think I've ever held a trade paperback in my hand. I am not blurbed on this because I did not review it. Because I honestly didn't know who I would write that review for. Several of you have noticed this book in your bookstores, and you noticed it when I hauled the galley copy and then the finished copy on this channel, and have thought, well, that seems monumental. It seems really monumental. Surely that is a book you would recommend. And I can't do it. I can't recommend it for the general reader. It's much more abstruse than that, and it doesn't slow down at all. And one or two of you, over the years since this came out, didn't believe me and tried it and wrote to me and said, okay, I see what you mean. I need to know more about Dante and especially Renaissance literature, early Renaissance literature, before I can do this. This is not an introduction to Dante like the book that I got yesterday. Not at all. But it is brilliant. On every page, brilliant. And I have this trade paperback. You can't really make it out with the lighting here, but this is filthy. So I'm gonna have to clean it up, reinforce it if I have to, and then there you go. Then some classics to wrap this out, and we can start with a literal classic, Livy. I found the Oxford World Classics version. This is a translation by T.J. Luce of the early books, the early history, the mytho-history of Rome. So Romulus and Remus, the rule of the Tarquins, expulsion of the kings, all that sort of stuff, all that stuff that certainly never happened, but that was firmly a part of Rome's mytho-history, and Livy writes that up at the early part of his book, which we have. We don't have the whole of Aber Urbe Condita, but we do have the beginning of it. And I saw this, again, my first reaction was, I've got to save you, because I found this. I just happened to glance at the section of the bookshelves on home care, housing care, tips for cleaning, and that sort of thing. And this was sitting there. And I felt it was meant to be. And also, in addition to loving Livy, I also love translators. I've studied English language translations the whole time I've been a reader. To compare them, to see what the translator is doing, how much fun they might be having. And so it's, so I have another version of Livy, is what I'm saying, for there. And then the last one is a Penguin Classic, and is a Penguin Classic that I see on BookTube all the time, and it's utterly redundant. I have this book in many different editions, but I don't have this edition. Now I do. And that is the new Penguin Classic of Middlemarch. This just a basic classic marble bust on the cover there, with this big broad white stripe and the block letters of the new Penguin design. This will go with, I have the last Penguin Classic Middlemarch, I have the Penguin Classic Deluxe Middlemarch, I have the mass market paperback Penguin Classic Middlemarch, and I have the Oxford and a couple of others. But now I have this one. So there's probably a little bit of duplication in the little book room, maybe. But the little book room is not going to be the little book room for long. I have plans to transform it into a pretentious study. That is well apace. A major element of that was we succeeded in accomplishing today. I will update you. I will update you. But in the meantime, that is it. It's a solo book haul. David got two books, Sacred Games and the Firm. And they're very different reading experiences, but they're both really good. So it would have been, he would have shown me those two, and then I would have given this whole peroration. So there you go. I'm going to clean these up, and we're going to commence our evening. So I will wrap this up, and the two of us will be back. Thank you, BookTube.